Coming up, professional fielding session with Somerset coach Paul Tweddle. Let's go.
Get you do something a little bit different. Okay. So what we're going to do, back to target.
Yeah.
So you'll be stood here. I'm going to feed you the ball. As I feed you the ball, I'm going to call a colour.
Yeah.
Blue or red. Blue there, red there. Those are the stumps that you're going to aim at.
Yeah.
Okay. So just turn and then throw at the target. What I want you to try and do though is try and hold a relatively low position from where I throw it.
Okay.
So if I throw it at your knee, take the catch here, turn, and keep the height.
Okay.
Rather than here and just stand up and get it.
Okay.
In terms of a rationale, like the reason why I'd like to do something like this with different colours is to make sure that the player's making a real conscious effort to look into target, to make sure that they're not just blurring the target and that they're actually actively aligning to the stumps when they throw. If there's one target there, sometimes the footwork can be a bit blurry, sometimes the lineup can be a bit different, whereas if they've got two active scenes, you should see the player go from this position, turn, and then get actively aligned. Even though they've got their back to the target, it's just a different, fun way of doing it. Red. Good, hit it. Blue. Okay, so my question now is, where has the miss been? Is there been a theme so far on either one? Ned, you got a theme?
Going missing that side.
Okay.
Missing far.
So what's that been caused by, do you think?
Not sure. I think I'm probably aligned a little bit too far around. I need to adjust where I'm aiming.
Okay, so conscious effort every time I get a blue is to make sure that left foot and my body weight is driving straight, if not a little bit left, and see whether I can miss to the left or hit. So my aim is to make sure that that left foot drives towards the target, my centre of my body goes towards the middle or fractionally left. So we don't mind a pull because it's a correction, it's a positive one.
Yeah.
All right, red. Blue. Good. So positive correction. Blue. So for me, the idea of throwing at stumps is to make sure that the players have a positive experience of it. So if I'm working with a player that might be a little bit younger or newer to the game, I just increase the amount of stumps that will be there. So go from 3 to 6, even to 9, it doesn't matter. But I try and keep the centre bit a different colour, so they've still got some awareness of what 3 stumps or 1 stump would look like. But if I miss the centre target, I'm still hitting the stumps. I'm getting a positive experience of throwing at the stumps rather than a single stump for a 11-year-old that's new to the game. It's going to be an extremely tough target. It centres their vision, but they're going to be throwing a lot and missing a lot. I want them to get a really positive experience by aiming at some stumps and hitting them. If I have to set up 6 to start with, that's fine. As they get better, I can take stumps away. But get some positive experience of throwing to hit as opposed to throwing to miss. So we're just going to change this up and make it into about throwing at the stumps, but from a front-on position, and start to link in a more accurate align from pickup into the stumps. Okay, so I'm going to feed the ball. Come a little bit closer to me. I'm going to feed the ball. You're going to start in a square position. As soon as the ball comes out of my hand, I'm going to call the colour.
Yeah.
You pick up the ball, travel through the ball in alignment with which side of me you're going to throw, either blue or red.
Perfect.
Okay?
Cool.
And then shuffle your feet, make the throw. Blue. Blue. Red.
Oh, that's close.
Red.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, idea here is that with the front on position, you're picking up the ball and you're traveling with a direction towards the stumps. You're really making sure energy and efficiency of the feet goes from here, straight from the pickup, into transferring my feet, replacing the ball with my feet, and it goes directly to the target, sending my weight as close as I can there. So I want to have the most consistent pickup position and the most consistent travel all the way through the set of stumps, so nothing's taking anything off of me. got one set of stumps, which is that one there.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw the ball a bit to your left, maybe a bit to your right. Different paces, you just got to pick up. Most efficient way of picking the ball up and throw it to the target.
Cool.
Let's keep it as simple as that
Yeah.
for now. Cool. Good. So on that one, you're talking about making sure you've got a lot of time, or we haven't put any time pressure on you to be able to let go of that ball. So you've given yourself an extra step.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I think hopefully you've seen there the way that I'm throwing the ball out is quite deliberate in terms of showing the angle with my body. Because I don't have a hitter or a batter, I still want to make sure that my fielders are walking in and anticipating using what's in front of them visually. So they're making sure that they are watching the batter to be able to get some clues. So hopefully you will see Ned walking in, and as soon as I'm showing my body weight going this way, he's already going to make some moves. He's not just stood there waiting for the ball to come out. He's already anticipating and using the line. Just makes things a little bit more real for the players. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call a number.
Yeah.
1 being the batter's run, and it's going to be a tight, no time. I need to get rid of this as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
2 is there's been a mix-up. All you have to do is hit the stumps and they're out.
Yeah.
There's no time pressure. 1. Beautiful, Nedley. There you're seeing difference between the first hit, which had no time pressure, where the ball's gone to the right-hand side, picked up, gained 2 feet balance, and then threw down. The second time, there's time pressure on it, so he's picking the ball up on the run and making a throw. 2!
Oh, no, he's missed them.
1 more. Take your time. 2, time. Time. Oh, lucky. Yeah, so in terms of session design, when I'm fielding, I pick the player and their stage of development. But that style of session where you go through a process of going through some technical work that might be about doing a lot of repetition of a skill and making sure that it's strong and that it's holding up and that they are really developing that side of their game, to putting it under a little bit of pressure where you're keeping it open but not too open, and then putting it into an open situation where they're having to make some decisions and seeing whether the carryover's happening. Because it's really important that if you're coaching these guys, that, in my view, that you're seeing that technical development happening and crossing over the whole time. So it's not just a big block of technical work and then go and do some open practice. It's, can we do a bit of technical work, a bit of open practice, do some decision making, come back to some technical work. What's breaking down? Why is it breaking down? And it's a bit more fluid. I'll rotate between doing some really open stuff and go, okay, you're missing a lot to the right. Okay, let's close this down a little bit, make it a little bit more technically based or a little bit more defined, and then let's open it back up and see if we get some transfer. So there's a lot more interweaving of the session than it is just about making sure that we have a 6-week block of technical catching work and then we send them outside and we hit them some flat catches and we see whether they've worked. I'm just trying to constantly check and challenge against, has the technical work challenged over yet? Is there making a difference? Are they able to do what they did with an underarm with a hit off of the bat? And then the session design, I'm constantly trying to create a drill or a constraint around it that's coaching and doing the work for me a little bit, so that I'm there to help, but that the session is being run and that the session has some parameters set by the drill. So there's a coloured ball to hit, or there's a situation where there's a batter that's running, or a ball that I have to throw the ball into. Something that's going to create, a simple example is if I've got a player that's missing a lot of throws short and full, so they're missing up and down. What do? I'll try and make the target very low and very wide. So again, I'll make the target maybe 6-7 stumps wide, but I'll cut them off and I'll make it very low. So they're already trying to go, well, if I got a hit, I've got to make sure my length's better, and I'll sacrifice a bit of height. Or if they're missing wide, but their length's very good, I'll set the target very long. So I'm trying to create some practices around that that are making the drill do the work for me, as opposed to me having to intervene and using words all the time and technical cues, so I can strip myself away and let the session do its coaching for itself.